Oh, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk Authenticity. And we are going to be talking about this sacred pause that many of us are in and have been in. But before I get into this, let me give you a little background on this Let's Talk Authenticity. So, Authenticity the Hard Way is my podcast and YouTube channel. And the podcast was born 3 years ago. Well, actually, the idea came about 5 years ago. And then it actually came into being in 2023 in a Motel 6 room. The whole story on that is very long. It is on the YouTube channel and the podcast. But I was at a place where I put myself in, me and my son in, and God spoke to me and said, "This is your space, your place. You have found your authentic self. And from here you go forward into authenticity." And I had already been thinking about doing a podcast. I didn't have a name for it. And Spirit said, "It's time for the podcast. And you will call it Authenticity the Hard Way, because you chose the hard way to become your authentic self." And ran with it. Last year, I opened up the YouTube, which was a major step for me. And what I do is I speak about my experiences, because that's what I know. All I know and all I can give a testimony of is my experiences, the harsh ones. And what I have learned is that it is the hard stuff that defines our moments in life. Not to neglect when good things happen to us. When good things happen, we are on top, we are loving life, but there's no real change. But when you are hit on all sides, when chaos erupts in your life and you're standing there in the middle of a major life quake, that's when you pay attention. When relationships start exploding, where your course is not clear anymore, it makes you stop and take notice. It is the dark night of the soul that breaks you. And sometimes that dark night spans out for years. And it is in that darkness where you begin to see your life, the changes that you need to make, the defining relationships that hold up a mirror and make you look at yourself and say, well, who is that? And why is she here? And how did she get here? And you realize that she is you, and she was not your intention for you. And so you have to stop and redirect your course. It is pain, rejection, abuse, trauma, poverty, losing everything that makes you wake up and say, I need to do something different. And then and it's not like things just get better, but you have to evolve. This is the journey that we are on. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that spiritual being understands and knows the purpose of this human experience. It is to experience life and evolve higher and higher and higher into the true version of yourself. And it's a journey. It is a chosen journey. Let me make this very clear, something that I learned. No one, not me and not you, no one is here on accident. Everyone that comes into this, every soul that comes into this life experience is doing so for a specific reason. And that specific season could be 16 years. It could be 50 years. It could be 100 years. Life is a season. And we come here to learn, to experience, to also be a catalyst, a source of inspiration, or a harsh experience for someone else in their experience. I hope that makes sense. We just don't meet people by chance. It doesn't happen like that. Everybody that comes into our lives, y'all, you have to understand, they come into our lives for a specific reason and a specific season. Case in point. See, okay, all of this, what I do, I channel, being a channel that's my channel. And through my experiences, I have learned to stay an open channel so that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, whomever I am with, I can receive what needs to happen, what needs to be said. Here, going out. But then I also stay in a space where I can receive what the various people that come through my life at a specific season, I can receive what they have for me. So, case in point, I gotta share this because it goes along with the pause. But anyway, I've been feeling very out of sorts. My direction, my course, I feel it changing and rearranging. So a little uncomfortable. However, yesterday my son and I were out. But the message I received yesterday morning was about accepting the pause and allowing this pause to just take place in my life without trying to fix it, without trying to really understand it. It's more like, it's kind of like this. If you trust God, the divine, and here's another thing, y'all, whatever terminology you use for your higher power, don't allow mine to mix you up. If you choose God, you choose spirit, you choose source, you choose the divine, you choose higher consciousness, whatever your terminology is, we're on the same page. I may use one interchangeably. It's okay. You may say rojo, I may say red. We both talking about a color. Okay, that out the way. Yesterday I was really feeling this pause out in my daily life, in my daily business, having to take care of stuff. So my son and I, my daughter came in and she was like, because I've really been going through this thing of evolving and changing the way I dress, getting out of the normal day-to-day routine of just being me and coming into a more conscious, more present, more spacious place of this version of myself, who is a lot more aware and a lot more awake than I was just last month. So my daughter comes in and she says, Mom, look, listen, you're not going to be wearing these same 2 dresses because I've gone back to wearing dresses. I stopped. Some time ago, I used to wear a lot of summer dresses. And I stopped because I just got stuck. So she comes in and she says, you're not going to be wearing these same 2 dresses every time you go out. It's like, get yourself some more clothes. I was like, okay. So I went out. I was taking care of some business. And when I finished, I looked at my son. I said, you know what? I need to go look at some clothes. He's like, okay. So we went to Walmart. And I was looking at this one dress was just beautiful. It was an ombre and different shades of yellow and orange just kind of faded into each other. It was beautiful. And it was on clearance for $21. And I was like, this is so pretty. It's so pretty. But, and in that moment, there was a pause in there where I shifted. I literally felt myself shift from where I was back into survival mode. And I went, in my head, I was like, this is beautiful. I want this. And in that pause, in that shift, I was like, that's too much. I shouldn't spend that. And so this script from the past started playing out in my head. You know, you shouldn't spend money on that. Even though it's $21, you could put this $21 and save it for this. Or, you know, you might need this, and this. And before I knew it, I put the dress back. And I told my son, okay, now, never mind, let's go. He was like, you're not going to get it? I was like, no, because I might need it. And he was like, okay, let's go. I'm walking away from the dress, and a lady comes in a little scooter basket thingy, and she comes right here. And I stopped, and I said, go ahead. She said, no, honey, you go. I said, well, thank you. I passed her, and I looked back over my shoulder at her, and she's looking towards the direction that I came. And she says, that dress would be beautiful on you. And I turned around and stopped. And she said, that one right there with the pretty colors, that would be so beautiful on you. I can really see you in that. And so I walked over and I grabbed the dress that I was looking at. And I said, this one? She said, yes, that one right there. That's perfect for you. The little straps, you know, if you get cold, you could just put a shawl over yourself. That is perfect for you. And I was thinking to myself, I was just looking at this dress. And I said, thank you. And she said, you're welcome. She started to drive off in her little cart and then yelled back, I hope you hear me, and left. And in that moment, I heard Spirit saying, I hope you hear me. Get the dress. I got the dress, and then I got another one that was for $6 that I looked at and wasn't going to get because it was $6. I said that to say, we are all here for a specific reason and a specific season. That lady, Spirit used to communicate and communicate with me to remind me that I am no longer in survival mode, that I am in a totally new place, and it's okay to feel free to take care of me. Okay. So, authenticity the hard way. That's how I got over there to talk about authenticity the hard way. We evolve through experiences. That was a evolving, defining moment for me. So, let's talk authenticity. The live is a branch off of the podcast and the YouTube Authenticity the Hard Way, opening up for me to be able to have conversations with other people about their journey to authenticity. I tried to do my first reel last weekend, and it didn't work. And I said, well, okay. And I left it up to Spirit. And it's just been a little change in the way that it happened, because I had it planned in my head at one way. Spirit said, no, we're going to do it this way. And now, this is the premiere of Let's Talk Authenticity. And what we are speaking about today, I am sharing this channeled message that I received from Spirit this morning about this pause that a lot of us are in. And I have 3 reels, 3 short ones that I've done about the pause. And this pause feels like you're going along in your daily routine. You have your projects lined up, what you're going to do. You have different, all your goals lined up. Everything is in a flow, right? So what happened for me was I received a channel message, I think it was a month and a half ago, if not 2, about moving into a space where a lot of downloads, I will be receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of creative inspirations, in mass. Like it was going to be a literal continual flow, and that happened. And so the flow was insane. Like I'm literally waking up 2-3 o'clock in the morning, writing down notes on things that I wake up into. And it was beautiful. I got a lot done. I'm very proud of myself. And a few of my friends, the word was spot on for them as well. And I was enjoying it. I was loving it. And then woke up Friday. Today is Thursday, so last Friday, I woke up and the flow was gone. Like there was an emptiness in me where all that energy, if you will, was flowing through me. It was gone. To the point where I stopped and I sat on the edge of my bed and I said, okay, something has shifted. Something has changed. And so I sat with Spirit, and Spirit said, you're in a pause. This is a pause. Now, 6 months ago, within the last 6 months, it's happened quite often in the last 2 years, but in the last 6 months, almost a year, I experienced these. I would get so far and there'd be this pause. But I never really stopped to pay attention to what it meant, because there was so much chaos going on in the background of my life that I was able to take care of all that I wanted to because of the momentum from Spirit. But when that momentum was gone, in its place, the chaos in my life just took over, and I would just stop. And there would be no forward movement in my writing, in my YouTube, nothing. I was just stopped because of the chaos. The difference between then and now is the chaos is gone. I'm clear. I'm focused. So when I woke up into this pause, there was no fear. It was just okay, let's experience this for what it is. And Spirit has given me definition, a message about this pause. And if you are not in a pause right now, hold on to it, because a pause will come, because you are here for a specific reason. Your life, you're not here by accident. You have a calling. You have something unique to you that you are here to fulfill. So I'm going to read this And as Spirit gives me more, I'm just going to follow Spirit. I'll just put it like that. Okay. This space that you are in is called the sacred pause. It is called sacred because it is shaped differently for each person who chooses to answer the call, the invitation to evolution. This call comes to everyone at a certain time. And it depends on where that person is in their journey, if they answer the call or not. It is a total choice. But it will come to everyone at a certain time. So if you're not feeling this pause right now, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everyone has a choice. This is what I love about Spirit. So The Matrix has been my defining movie throughout the time that it came out. Every year, Spirit takes me back to the movie, the original. And then the other ones at certain times, just random. But the Matrix 1, Spirit always takes me back to. And I'm back there. I just started watching it again a couple weeks ago. Spirit said there is a metaphorical Morpheus in everyone's life because each of you are Neo. I'm going to let that settle in. I'm just going to place that right there on your table. You open it up and you deal with it. But Spirit said that we are each Neo. And we all have our metaphorical Morpheus. That metaphorical Morpheus equates to the harsh experiences that I was talking about earlier. Tragedy, loss, chaos can be our Morpheus coming to us, asking us, which way do you choose to go? Yeah, there's a metaphorical Morpheus in everyone's life because each of you are Neo. And there's a choice that must be made, especially at this time in humanity's evolution. All sapient beings and so there are sentient beings and there are sapient beings. Sentient beings are those beings, animals, people that can feel pleasure, pain, joy, happiness. Sapient beings have higher consciousness. And this is just kind of a rough definition. Have higher consciousness, higher cognitive skills. So we human beings are considered more sapient. We are sentient and sapient, where animals are more sentient. All sapient beings are evolving out of the 3D dimension, which is fear-based and focused through the 5 senses and ego. So this, where humanity is right now. And if you want a visual of this, look at how all of this disclosures are coming out now. Look at all of the chaos and the breakdown of different systems that the world is going through. Look at the political I don't know the word I want for that, for all the political unrest that we are experiencing now. That is a visual of the breakdown of the third dimension, which is fear-based, which is controlled, which is driven by ego, centered on, what's the word I want? Contrast, light, dark, good, bad. It is a matrix. The matrix itself is a construct that has been created to control. To control. And we are humanity, human beings are coming out of that, where we are starting to see all of the lies, all of the control, all of the deception that we have been born into. This might have to be a totally different video, but that's what's happening. And there is a saying, as above, so below. Everything that is dismantling in above us in government, the same is happening within us. And that is the reason for the pause. Because there's a breakdown that is taking place in our consciousness. Okay, so we are moving from, this is a good example, from being taught that you had to go to school for a certain amount of time to get a degree that would validate you, to qualify you to have a certain type of job so that you could live this quote unquote American dream of having everything and just, yeah, the American dream. Anyway, but then there was a shift in consciousness where people started saying, why can't I be my own business owner? Why must my children go to a brick and mortar school? And so then we see this great big advent of charter schools and in-home trained schools and the traditional matrix of going through life has crumbled. People are leaning more into their intuitive and creative aspects of themselves and creating jobs where 20 years ago you would have had to spend your entire life going to school to do. I hope that kind of makes sense. We are moving out of 3D into 4 and 5D. Survival mode. That's what we are moving. 3D is all about survival. It's me against you. It's all about me. Oh, that's good. So if you imagine a little child that's learning to crawl, right? Learning to walk, sensing the world from me perspective. I want that, I want that, I want that. I don't care about you. I see you, but I don't care about you. And if I don't get what I want, I'm gonna have a tantrum. And I'm gonna feel like the whole world is against me and nobody loves me. That's 3D mentality. And then as the little child grows up and they meet other kids and then they learn how to share. Oh, okay, I'll share with you and I'm going to let you play with this and then you give it back to me, right? Okay, all right. And then they evolve. I hope you understand where I'm going. It's a consciousness change. And that's where we're going. We're coming out of fear and into an understanding that we are all one. I'm jumping ahead. Let me go back. Okay. We're coming out of survival mode and into 4D, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, consciousness, where in which is the expansion of consciousness outside of the 3D matrix. And it begins with an awakening, a realization that there were never, this is the example that Spirit gave me. It's like understanding that there were never really any monsters under your bed at night. Or that strange shadow in your window at night through your window was just a tree branch illuminated by the moon. You know those scary movies, right? There's something under the bed. Maybe when you were a child, you used to get scared because you thought it was something in the closet or something in the bed or something outside your window. Coming up into higher consciousness, you realized that no, there wasn't anything under my bed. It was just a shoe. No need to be afraid. That thing moving outside your window was just a tree branch. Nothing is coming to get you. Nothing is coming to hurt you. That is coming out of 3D, the lower consciousness, the consciousness of survival mode, the consciousness of being in fear of everything. Where you begin to soften the judgments and criticism you held against others because you've softened the ones you had for yourself. This is where we as human beings are going. We are moving into a place or a space of understanding that who we are, or who you are, is far greater than you ever thought, because your mind has escaped the matrix. Oh, a good example of that for me, and that's what Authenticity Hardway is about. It's about sharing my experiences. When I was a little girl, the matrix, the 3D matrix that I was brought up in, I might cry. That's what I do. So if I start crying, y'all just... Growing up as a little girl, I was demeaned because of my dark skin, because of the kinkiness of my hair, because of my shyness. I had a severe overbite as a young girl before I got braces. I had acne real bad. So I was put in this box based off of how I looked, based off of who my father was, instead of who I was as a person, as a being. That overshadowed my entire childhood. It overshadowed all of my teens. It overshadowed the majority of my adulthood into my 30s. I'm 54 now. I am just now coming out of all of that to being able to accept who I am as I am. That is evolution. So as a race, as the human race, we are coming out of the mental captivity of what we were born into and the system that we were forced into, being just obedient, following the system. coming into a place of sovereignty within our own selves. I had to tell my teenager, my son and I, we have deep conversations. And I had to say, this is just an example. I was forced to go to school for 12 years. If I graduated from that school, if I did all 12 of those years, I got a high school diploma and then went off to college, I was then considered a functioning, worthwhile part of humanity. That was what we were trained to do. Now, my 15-year-old son can go to a charter school. And if he's willing to do the work, he can finish all 4 years of high school in 2 and go to college. And while he is doing that, he can follow his creative aspirations and create his own business. Instead of getting a diploma, a degree that qualifies him to go work for someone else and fulfill their goal or their dream. See the change? You see the change of what I'm talking about? Where we are now, we as human beings are understanding that what we were taught is no longer viable. We have evolved in consciousness to understanding that we are more than they allowed us to believe we are. Okay. When you realize that we are all interconnected with each other and nature, and finally come to a place of unconditional love for yourself, that is when you have evolved into higher consciousness. When you realize that it's not anyone against you, but that we are all here together, evolving, helping humanity awaken to the truth of our own sovereignty. You have evolved into higher consciousness. And in each phase of this evolution, of these evolutions that I'm talking about, there is a sacred pause, which is what many of us are in now. It's literally like a pause, like you're no longer there where you used to be. You don't think the way you used to think. You don't feel the way you used to. And you see what you really want in life. You understand that I can have whatever I want to have. And it's not based on my degree. It's not based on a diploma. It's not based on financial abundance or anything like that. You understand that you are the creator and you are creating your life. It is a liminal space. It is a space, an in-between space where the old version of yourself begins to crumble. You don't see yourself the way you used to. You realize that you are more than what you were called, what people labeled you as. You are more than your position in a job. You are more than your family lineage. You're far more than that. And you begin to understand this. And that old version of yourself begins to crumble. And the new version begins to move closer to you. And there is a space in between there where the things and people that used to be needed are no longer attractive to you. It's a place where the habits and the routines that used to rule your daily life are no longer appealing to you. You don't desire them anymore. They're boring, right? Where relationships that you used to thrive for now make you feel some type of way, like you're not comfortable in those relationships. The places that you used to go to hang out, you don't want to go hang out there anymore. You're tired of all that. You're tired of being sick and tired. You're tired of always hoping for something different, but keep running into the same thing, the same people, the same jobs. That's the old version. And in this pause, all of that is beginning to fade away. And the things that used to light you up and excite you now drain you or even disgust you. This pause, within this pause, there is a place where you conscientiously let go of and turn your back towards that life or that way of being, and consciously and wholeheartedly, boldly face a higher, more expanded perception of yourself in a freer, pure existence. That's deep. So in this pause, so I'm looking at you and I see my closet behind me, right? That closet, what's in that closet, no longer, those clothes don't fit me anymore. I don't even like the style. Some of the stuff I look at and I'm like, girl, why in the world was you wearing that? And some shoes like, oh, right? That's all in the closet behind those doors. But what's in front of me, and literally what's in front of me, is my window. And outside my window, it's big, beautiful green trees. The sky behind it, those trees, is blue, beautiful blue. And it goes on for as far as I can see. And there's wide open space in front of me. When I look out my window, I see all the possibilities that outside represents. That is, and I'm sitting right here in between the closet and the outside. This is my space of pause, where I have a choice to make. I can either sit here and turn around and go back into that closet and stay that woman that was wearing all that stuff. Or I can go forward like I did in Walmart, and the lady said, you should get that dress. That dress is good for you. Go forward. Outside. Open, spacious opportunity. And create a new world for myself. This is the space. This is the pause. And it's sacred because only I can make the decision. Just like Neo, when Morpheus handed him the red pill and the blue pill. Right? You have a choice to make, Neo. You're going to stay the same, go back to your dark room, hiding, or are you going to take this pill and experience the truth about who you are and what you are capable of? That was good. That was really good. But that's it. That is what this pause is for. And it will be different for everyone. But the choice is still the same. Will you stay the same? Or will you evolve? Will you come out of fear and move into love, trust, truth? In this pause, there is rest, healing, and release. So being in the 3D, third dimensional consciousness, it is very draining and very exhausting because the emotions of that are dense and heavy. Fear, anger, rejection, trauma, grief, disappointment, depression, all those low, heavy emotions take their toll on our bodies, our nervous systems, our minds, and our emotions. In this pause, all of that, we're released from. And our bodies are able to heal and restore themselves, all of our systems, our nervous system, our minds, our emotions, our bodies. And while that healing is taking place, there is also an integration of the newness that we are going into. It is the integration in our minds of the possibilities of the life that we can have, the life that we deserve, the life we can create. In this pause, there is more of an awareness of who we are. There is emotional and spiritual growth in this pause. There are truths that come to us. One of those truths is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. One of those truths is that we are divine beings. We came from Source. We are Source experiencing itself as human. A truth is that we have creative power because we are creative beings. One of those truths is that love. One of those truths is the truth about love, and that truth is that you deserve love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of good things. You are worthy of being happy, of living a fruitful life. You do not have to be poor. Because being poor and being rich all begin with the state of your mind. One of those truths that begins to manifest in this pause as you are evolving and moving forward into the next highest version of yourself is that you are a creator. You are creating your own experience. And if you are creating from the 3D dimension, then all your creation is going to be dark. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be dense. You are creating out of fear. You are attracting, creating out of lack, out of poverty. But when you step into your light and the truth, and you allow the integration of new paradigms to take place in your mind, new core beliefs of yourself and your potential, then you begin co-creating with the source. Everything that you want, you can have. So, thank you, Spirit. The defining moment for Neo is when he realized. So he was going along with Morpheus because Morpheus believed in him, and then he hit that pause place in his life where he realized that he actually was the one. And that realization became so because he accepted it. He believed in it for himself, not for Morpheus. He began embodying the one because he made the choice to believe in himself as the one. His fight scenes, for me, Neo's fight scenes with Mr. Smith was his fight scenes against himself, fighting to believe that he truly was who he was. Because we all have that battle. You have the choice. You could accept the past, stay that person, or you could go through the battle of coming out of that and being the one that is you. That's good. Okay. Yeah, so in the pause, there's integration. And then there is also, because we are one with nature and Earth is evolving, and I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want anyone to, it's a lot. But Earth herself is evolving. And we are evolving as she is. So we are receiving a lot of what is called light codes. There is a lot of energy that is pouring into humanity right now, into each and every one of us. Whether you feel it or not, it is happening. And I guarantee you, if you take a step back and you think about what you're thinking about, you will notice that a lot of things that you used to be comfortable with, you are no longer comfortable with. The way you used to feel about yourself is starting to come out of that. And so it's your choice to lean into those things that you are feeling, this new thought, these new thought processes, this new expansion that you're feeling, or you can stay where you are. It's your choice. It is absolutely your choice. I'm gonna leave that right there. This pause is also where you begin to be a human being instead of a human doing. And this brings me to hustle and grind culture. For I don't know how many years, we have been hustling and grinding to try and get that money, to try and make this happen, to try and grind and hustle to create the perfect life that we want to have. And all that has done is produce burnout and mental and emotional distress. We are human beings. We are not machines. I'm trying to word this right. The matrix version of employment, slaving, grinding at a job for 8, 12, 16-hour shifts, grinding, forcing yourself, hustling up the energy to do overtime, to make the money, to get what you want. But when you do all of that, you put in all those hours, you're still struggling, trying to make ends meet. And people have spent their entire lifetimes in this grind mode and get to retirement age and barely have enough to survive off of that retirement and have been forced to go back into some type of job and die. Still trying to make ends meet. That's what happens. People work 50, 60 years of their lives at a job and are too tired and exhausted or physically disabled in some type of way to even enjoy the retirement. That is not life. That is not living. That is not what our Father, God, the Creator, universe, whatever terminology, had intended for us. Motivational speaker Les Brown told a story. I got it from him. I don't know who he got it from, but I'm paraphrasing his story. He said that there was a man that was first he said that the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because in the graveyard are thousands upon thousands of ideas, creative pieces of art, books that were never written, songs that were never sung, art that was never created, because the person that song was given to, or that book was given to, or that piece of art was given to, was too caught up in the 9-to-5 grind to bring those things into the world. Could you imagine what the world would be like if Michael Jackson went and worked at Burger King instead of grabbing the microphone and singing? That just came to me. I don't know. Could you imagine? Michael's dynamic. Look what he did for the world. Because he chose to be Michael. But Les Brown had this story about this man that was on death's bed. He was dying, and whether it was in a dream or whether he actually woke up and saw the spirits of all of the projects and all the things that he really wanted to do with his life came to him and said, "We didn't get to live. We didn't get to become because you didn't allow us to." There's greatness inside of you. There's something that only you can do that the world is waiting on. Only you can do it. And if you are in this pause right now, understand that this pause is helping you come out of the mindset of I can't into the mindset of I can and I will. And it's giving you this pause to gather your strength, to sharpen your focus. And when the pause lifts, you are going to be ushered into everything that you need to do to be exactly who you came here to be. Without the grind, without the hustle. Because you will just be being you. That's it. That's it. No more hustle and grind. Now we stay present. We stay in a space of allowing. Not forcing life, but allowing life. Co-creating with God. Co-creating with the universe. Because we are creators. We are the creators. God, source, the universe is the director and the producer. But we are the creators. You are the creator. Eventually, everyone will experience a sacred pause. However, many are experiencing this now because a majority of people have chosen to evolve. If you are one of these people, if you are on your journey to becoming and unconsciously focused on becoming the greatest version of yourself possible, you are feeling like there is nothing going on, trust me, there is a lot going on. But all that is going on is not for you to focus yourself with now. If you're in this pause, rest. Get ready for the next level. And that is not necessarily something that you have to do. It's just a space that you have to be in. We are evolving as a human society. We are evolving into a higher level of authenticity. And it's a choice. And if you made that choice right now and you are experiencing this pause, there's nothing wrong with you. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. So rest. Your pause may be longer than someone else's. There's no time limit. Time is also a part of 3D. Like, that's a whole different thing. We move with spirit. We allow things to unfold as they may. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it was long, but I'm going to cut off spirit. I sat for over an hour and a half. I wasn't going to cut this off, and I had to let that go like how it's supposed to. Thank you for joining me. I hope, I pray, I believe that something that I said, something that Spirit said that I gave to you, that Spirit said through me, for you, to you, resonates, and that you grab a hold of it. And that you boldly, confidently, patiently allow and follow Spirit, your guides, into this next amazing version of yourself that is right there. It's right there. It's on the other side of the pause. Till next time, take care of yourself. And I'll see you soon.